Hello and welcome to Library Yoga, and for those of you practicing with us at home, welcome. I have a class that's going to be a little easygoing tonight. Some of us are just getting back into yoga, and some of you may have been practicing the whole time, or some of you just could be having a rough day and need a little low energy rather than high energy. So if you'll start on your back, you can face your head in any direction. My name is Lori. I am one of the volunteer teachers. Jessica is my student tonight. She might look familiar because she is also one of the volunteer teachers. Rest with your legs as comfortable as you like. You can have the feet flat on the floor with the knees bent, knees falling in, or you can rest with the legs straight. Just find a place that you can release any tension. Try to relax down into the floor and know that you're supported. Take this time to tune into the self and into the breath. Notice where it travels. See if you find any places of tension that you can push the breath towards. Beginning to lengthen the breath on your inhales, offering equal length in your exhales. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose. Something that may help you with the length of the breath is maybe counting up to 4 or 5 on the inhale, and then as you exhale, count down from 5 to 1. If you practice setting an intention, you can do so here. If you're wondering what an intention might be, it is just what puts you on your mat in this moment. Maybe you don't have one, and if you don't, I can offer just let the breath guide you. Put your focus on your breath. Let it tell you where you need to go. We'll be here for 5 more breaths. With each inhale, feeling the spine push into the back, to the mat and the floor. Relaxing the face. Relax the jaw. And whenever you're ready, slowly start some small movements, maybe the wrists and ankles like we're waking up from Shavasana. We're going to draw the knees into the chest. You can do so one at a time. You can stretch the arms up overhead. Whatever feels good. Give yourself a hug. Rock side to side, back and forth. Starting with a gentle twist. Bringing the arms out beside you, coming out from the shoulders. The arms can be straight out or maybe a T position where the elbows are bent, the palm or the back of the hands facing on the mat. As you exhale, we're going to take the knees to the right. If the shoulder pops up off the mat, bring the right hand or the left hand to the hip. You can take a gaze over either shoulder or look straight up, depending on the comfort level in your neck. One more in-breath here. And as you exhale, relax the hips. Next inhale, we'll draw to center. As you exhale, drop the knees to the opposite side. Maybe take a gaze over the opposite shoulder. If your left shoulder pops up off the mat, maybe bring the hand to the hip, or your right hand, right shoulder. Next inhale draws the knees back to center. As you exhale, take them to the right. We'll take some movement. Inhale, bring the knees back up. exhale the opposite side. They don't have to come all the way to the floor. If you are practicing some control in the abdominals, you can bring them up to the middle on the inhale, and as you exhale, only go halfway. So option's yours. Inhale to center, exhale the opposite side. Your next inhale comes to center. Hug the legs, rock back and forth, front to back. We're going to come over onto hands and knees. From hands and knees, we want to spread the fingers wide. Your shoulders will be stacked over your wrist, your hips stacked over your knees. From here, on your inhale, drop the belly, draw the collarbone through the shoulders, lift the tailbone. As you exhale, press into the mat, round the spine, push up from the back of the heart. Inhale, belly drops for cow pose. Look up. And as you exhale, round the spine, look inward. 2 more rounds with your breath. Inhaling, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Last round. Let the breath be your guide. On your next inhale, finding that neutral spine where your hips are level with your shoulders, not with your shoulders, that's not possible, but draw the arm bones in towards each other. Slowly let the heart soften towards the floor. Feel the shoulders lock into the sockets. From here, we're going to take the right foot up and behind you. Flex the toes to the mat. Maybe take the left bicep beside the ear. This is just an option, not a requirement. Just know that we always have options. If it doesn't feel good, you don't have to do it. Reach through the heel, reach through the fingertips. 1 more breath in, belly pulls in and up. As you exhale, bring all 4 to the floor. Opposite side, left leg lifts. Flex the foot, reach through the heel, and then maybe entertain the right hand coming forward for a balance. Reaching through the heel, reaching through the fingertips, pull the belly button in and up. Strong core. Breathing. As you exhale, all 4 meet the floor. We're going to bring the big toes together, knees as far apart as you like, sitting the hips back to the heels. Find a child's pose. Forehead meets the mat. Or maybe if your forehead doesn't find the mat, stack the hands one on top of each other so that the forehead has something to rest on. 2 breaths here. Child's pose is a resting pose for some. If you're uncomfortable in child's pose, you can always sit up. But if there's any time you need to rest in the practice, this is a great place to be. On your next inhale, drawing the hands forward, come up onto the fingertips, lift the heart like you're going to elongate the spine. And as you exhale, we're going to take the hands to the left. Right hand can stack on top of the left, or maybe the left arm comes around the low back. Still sitting back on the heels, relax the head and neck. On your next in-breath, both hands reach forward if they're not already there, coming back onto the fingertips. Walk the hands back to center, lengthening the spine, and then as you exhale, take them to the opposite side. Your left arm can come on top of the right, or maybe the right arm comes around the low back. Feel the stretch in the side body. Deep breaths here, lengthening the side body. Next inhale, coming back to center. Lengthen through the fingertips. Draw the heart forward, plant the hands, and then come back to hands and knees. On your next inhale, tuck the toes, lift the tailbone up and back, finding downward facing dog. Your hips are going to lift high like they're pressing on the wall behind you. Shoulders or arms draw towards each other, and then let the heart sink between the shoulders. Relax the head and neck. Relax the heels towards the mat. You can bend one leg and then the other, walking the dog, some movement in the hamstrings. Shake the head yes or no. Might feel good to loosen up the neck. On your next inhale, we'll shift to hands and knees, and as you exhale, we'll lower the chest and heart to the floor. Lengthening through the back of the legs. Press down through both feet. Hands are beside the chest or right underneath the shoulders. On your inhale, find baby cobra. You're going to lift the heart like you're peeling up off the floor. Shoulder blades squeeze together. Your neck pulls back and maybe look up. As you exhale, release. We'll take cobra 2 more times. You can do this at your own pace. Hold for as long as you like. In breath lifts up, peels up off the floor. And when you're ready, exhale, forehead to the mat. Last time here, inhale reaches up. Maybe look up. You might be able to pull the front ribs down and in, and maybe be able to find more space in the low back. Exhale, slowly release. We're going to tuck the toes. Hands are still beside the chest. Come up through hands and knees. Find downward facing dog. On our next in-breath, we'll take the right foot between the hands. Drop the left knee. Your toes can be flexed on the mat, or you can have the foot flat on the mat. I like to flex because it gives me leverage to act as though I'm going to squeeze my legs together. This activates that back leg as well as allows a stretch in the front hip flexor. These poses are really good if you sit a lot. Runners, bikers, that hip flexor gets really tight. Hands could be at the hips, the heart, or maybe reach biceps beside the ears. If you like any kind of back bend here, think like cobra. You want to peel the heart up towards the sky. Exhale, the hands come down. We're going to shimmy the hips back. Hands can be on the hips. If this is more accessible, you can fold, hinge at the hips. You might be able to bring your hands to the mat, maybe to the top of the shin. We want to feel a hamstring stretch in that right leg. So we want to draw the belly towards the thigh, reach the heart forward towards the toes so that we have a long, low spine. Bending back into the front knee. Plant both hands, step right foot to meet the left, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Option to take child's pose or just sit for those breaths as well. Moving to the other side, we're going to take the left foot between the hands. Drop that right knee, finding a low lunge. Hands can be on the thigh, the hips, the heart. Find what's most comfortable for you. Maybe you reach bicep beside the ears. Breathe. Maybe you're squeezing the legs towards each other so that both legs are firing up. Hard work rather than being passive in the pose where you just sink. Options yours. Where do you want to be today? As you exhale, the hands come down. Hips shift back. Find that hamstring stretch on the opposite side. Belly towards the thigh. Chest and heart reaches for the toes. Bending back into the front knee. Plant both hands. Left foot meets the right. Downward facing dog. Shaking the head, yes or no. Find any movement here that feels good. On the next inhale, we'll take the right foot between the hands. We're going to bump the back foot up some so that the back heel can come down, finding warrior one. I just cued that different than I ever have before, and I don't know why. Press back through the hips, lift the chest and heart. We want the back heel on the mat. Your feet may be heel to heel alignment. That's fine. I find better balance if I put my other opposite foot a little bit over, like I'm standing on railroad tracks. All about what feels good in your body, not what everyone else is doing. Breathe here. Next inhale, we're going to straighten the front leg. As you exhale, we're going to reach the chest and heart forward, finding a pyramid pose. Hands might be on the shins. Hands might reach the mat. Jessica here has brought blocks, so your hands might be on blocks. Same concept as the hamstring stretch we just did. We want to bring the belly down, heart forward. Relax the head. Pulling back through that right hip. Bending into the front knee, sweep the arms back up, find warrior one. Nice job. As you exhale, we're going to take the hands behind us. Find a clasp. You can clasp hands, elbows. You can fist bump what's comfortable on your shoulders, because this is a shoulder opener. Lift the heart. From here, we're going to take the right shoulder inside the right leg, or wherever you can bow. Releasing the hands, coming back up to warrior one. Reach up, get tall, long on the sides. As you exhale, hands come down. Right foot meets the left. Find yourself in downward facing dog. Two more breaths here. Pressing into the hands, lengthening the sit bones up and back. Relax the heels. Your next inhale will bring the left foot to the left wrist. Right heel down, warrior one. Bending into that front knee. We want to pull back on the left hip so that maybe the right hip will come a little more forward. This is a closed hip posture. Arms reach up, or at the heart, or at the hips, where your arm's most comfortable. Breathe. Keep bending into that front knee. Nice. On your next inhale, we'll straighten the front leg. As you exhale, reach the heart forward. Think long, low spine. And bring the hands to wherever they'll reach. Might be the shin. Maybe it's the floor. Wherever you are, keep pulling back on the left hip, just like you would if you're in warrior one, so that right hip comes around to the front. Relax the head and neck. Next inhale, bends back into the front knee, arms come up. Find warrior one. Finding the clasp once more, behind the back. If you clasped hands, try to reverse it and put the opposite thumb on top. Inhale, lifts the heart. Exhale, left shoulder inside the left knee. Have patience with yourself. Not only is this a fold, but it's a bit of a balance. Release the grip of the hands, come back up, warrior one. Exhale, the hands come down. Step left foot to the right. Pause here. On your next in-breath, we'll shift to plank. Any variation you like. Knees can be up or down, top of a push-up. So you're going to shift the shoulders over the wrist. Spread the fingers wide and squeeze the arms in towards one another. Press back through the heels if your feet are lifted. If your knees are on the back, you can, on the mat, still press through the heels to activate the legs. Breathe. Next, exhale, we're coming all the way to the mat, belly down. Lengthen through the legs. Find cobra pose. Inhale, lifts the heart. Maybe look up. Exhale, release. We'll take cobra one more time and pause. Inhale, lift up. Take a glance over your right shoulder. Inhale to center. Exhale, glance over the left. Back to center. Release. Press up and back to child's pose. Knees can be as far apart as you'd like. Just a note that if the knees are closer together, you're going to get more low back release. Further apart, you're going to get more into the hips. So place your body where you need it. And whenever you're ready, we'll come back to downward facing dog. Pressing into the hands, lift the sit bones high. We want to extend from heart to hands, hands to hips, down the back of the legs. On your inhale, right foot comes between the hands. We're going to drop the back heel, finding warrior two. So with our hands still on the mat, check out your alignment of your feet. You want the front arch or front heel lined up with the back arch. We want the front knee pointing out towards the pinky toe, and from here we can windmill the hands up. We're bending into that front knee, pressing into the outer edge of the back foot. You want your knee to be in line with the ankle, so that might mean taking the stance a little bit wider so that your knee is not pushing past, straining the joints. Breathe, reaching with both hands. On your inhale, we'll flip the front palm, reaching up, left arm drops to the leg. Maybe look up at that front palm, the right hand, and then think about reaching that hand up towards the ceiling. Get long on the right side, and then reach back for reverse warrior. We want length in the side body for this side stretch. As you exhale, both hands come down. Right foot meets the left. Downward facing dog. Inhale, step the left foot between the hands. Warrior two, opposite side. From here, check the feet, heel to arch. When you're ready, bring the arms up, bend into that front knee, and reach for both ends of the room. Check that front knee that it's going out towards the pinky toe. Breathe. On our next inhale, we'll reverse, take the left arm up, maybe look up and really reach with that side, and then reach back. Reversing the warrior, keep bending into the front knee. Exhale, both hands come down. Left foot meets the right. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths here or wherever you would like to rest. Honor your body. And whenever you're ready, bending the knees if you're in downward facing dog, or otherwise making your way feet to the hands, find a forward fold at the top of the mat. From here, we want to press the hips back, draw the belly towards the thighs, relax the head and neck, shake it yes, shake it no. Coming up halfway, hands come onto the shins, draw the crown of the head forward, hips press back, exhale, folds. One more time, inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, fold. The next inhale will come all the way to standing, sweep the arms up, maybe look up. Hands come to the heart or to the sides for mountain pose. We're going to ground down through the feet, Press down through the big toe mound. Feel the feet lift, toes lift and spread to the outer pinky. Press down through the heels. You want your feet about hip distance apart. So think hip points, not outer hips. We want the bones stacked. Hands can be at the side. They could be at the heart. It's your preference. Shoulders draw up and back. Crown of the head lifts tall. Activate the legs like you're going to squeeze the mat apart, like you're going to rip it with the feet. So you want to take the feet away from each other even though they're still. 2 more breaths in this active mountain pose. You can activate the arms, pressing the palms together if the hands are at the heart. Next, inhale, reach up, lengthen. Bless you. As you exhale, draw the heart forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Crown of the head reaches forward. Exhale, refold. Inhale, reach up. Lengthen the sides. We're going to take the right wrist and the left hand reaching up and then over, find a side stretch. Press down equally through both feet. Maybe look up. Opening up the side body helps us breathe a little easier in life. Inhale comes to center. Switch the grip. Lengthen up and over. Again, look up. Maybe not. If that's not feeling it on your neck today, you can look forward. Inhale comes up. As you exhale, heart leads, forward fold, hinging at the hips. Halfway lift on the inhale. Refold. Inhale reaches up. Exhale the hands to the heart. We'll find some standing balances. The lovely thing about this room is if you don't feel like you can balance in the middle of the room, we've got lovely bars and then wall space if you need to hang on to something to find your balance. We'll start with tree pose and then we'll do some maneuvering from there. So grounding down through the right foot, we're going to kickstand the left. Or maybe you take that left foot to the calf. The only place we don't want to put it is on the knee itself. So be mindful. You might even be able to take the foot to the thigh, press leg into foot, foot into leg. Try to stay equal in the hips, not hiking one higher than the other. Maybe you grow limbs and you reach the arms up. Find one focal point and breathe. On your next inhale, hands draw to the heart, knee comes forward. We're going to take the foot out in front. You can leave it bent. You can straighten the leg. Hands can be at the heart. Maybe you challenge a little bit, reaching the hands up. One more breath. My thigh is on fire. Exhale. Foot down. You can step wide, shake it out, wiggle in the hips. Do what feels good. Roll the ankle of that standing leg before we move to the other side. Grounding down onto the left foot whenever you're ready. Spread the toes wide. Set up the foundation first. It's the most important thing to build on. You want it strong. Toes can be kickstand. Maybe you find the calf. And again, maybe you find the thigh. Maybe you just find some peace and quiet standing in the room. Whatever it is, honor yourself and where you're at. Maybe grow limbs. Press foot into leg, leg into foot. Keeping that strong foundation. And then we'll bring hands to the heart. Knee comes out in front. Bent leg or straight leg. Breathe. Decide where you want the arms. Nice job, everybody. Exhale, slowly release. Shake it out. Y'all are already, we'll make our way back to the top of the mat so we can make our way back down to the floor. Find your mountain pose. Really active feet. Activate the legs like you're going to rip the mat apart. Shoulders come up and back. Hands can be at the side, at the heart. Crown of the head reaches tall on your inhale. Hands reach up. As you exhale, let the heart lead, forward fold like you're swan diving. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, plant the hands, step it back to that plank pose. Variation with the knees up or down. Arms are going to squeeze towards one another. Let the heart melt towards the floor. Let the shoulders get into the sockets. Your shoulders should feel really secure here. Exhale, chest and heart lower. Bring the knees down too if it helps. Finding some back bends here. You'll bring the forehead to the mat. The feet can be as far apart or as close as you'd like. Palms come back towards the hips so that the palms face down. We'll start with locust. On your inhale, the feet will lift. And you might stay here, just feeling the feet. On your next inhale, if you think it's available to you today, lift the heart. Shoulder blades squeeze together. From here, you can play with the arms. They might lift. You might like being grounded onto the floor. Exhale, release. Turn your cheek to one side. Bend the knees. A little windshield wiper back and forth. Maybe circle the knees, whatever feels good. Straightening the legs with the forehead on the mat. We're going to take locust once again, but you have the option to do just as we have before with the hands down, or maybe you find that clasp with the hands behind the back that you did earlier today. Inhale, start with the legs, lift. Next inhale, chest and heart lift. Breathe. Lengthen through the feet. Lengthen through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, release. Turn your head the opposite direction. Let the palms and arms relax. Maybe bend the knees for a little swipe back and forth, low back release. Bringing the forehead back to the mat, palms come underneath the shoulders. If you'd like to take one more cobra, lift the heart. Otherwise, we'll sit back to child's pose. Decide what's best for you. We'll all meet in child's pose. Hips to the heels. Arms either reaching forward, or you might try a variation of taking the hands to the heels, or with the arms forward if you want more shoulder. You can take the hands, palms together in front, and then bring the palms to the nape of the neck. Again, it's all about what you prefer. On your inhale, we'll come back to hands and knees. Tucking the toes, find downward facing dog. On your next inhale, the right leg will come between the hands. We're going to scoot the right foot to the outer edge of the mat so that both hands are on the inside. Your back knee can be lifted, your back knee can be down. It's up to you. The back knee lifted is going to be more work. So decide where your energy level is today. If this is what you prefer, have at it. If you'd rather have a gentle practice, the knee can come down. I like to be on fist here to alleviate the wrist, but palms can be flat, or maybe you come down to the forearms. Find this lizard pose. Take 3 more breaths. And then wherever you are, coming back onto the hands. We're going to pivot the left knee so that it faces, or the left foot so that they face the long edge of the mat. And we're going to come up with like a little half lunge here on our right. So you guys will face the windows for those of us that are in the room, like Jessica. Or we got the knee bent. Jessica, we're a little, yeah. So from here, we're going to take either the right forearm to the thigh, or you might be able to reach the floor. We're going to do another side stretch on this left side. So reach the left arm up and over. This is a modified Warrior 2, by the way. So if you're in a class and they call for Warrior 2 where we were, you can always have that knee down. On your inhale, slowly come back up. We're going to plant the hands around the front foot, pivot the left toes back to the back of the mat. Step back, right to left, downward facing dog. On your inhale, we'll take the left foot forward, moving the hands to the inside of the left foot. Again, right knee can stay lifted. You can be on fists or on hands or on forearms. Right knee can be down. Lots of options for whatever it is that floats your boat today. Might be different tomorrow, but that's not for us to worry about. Breathe into the spaces of tension. From here, we'll bring the right knee down, pivot the right foot towards the long edge of the mat. You'll now be facing the mirrors and the bars. Come up with the torso, the shoulders over the hips first before you decide. Left arm to the forearm, or maybe left arm to the floor. Open the shoulders so that you can see the ceiling, and the right arm will reach up and over. This would be a modified side angle, or a variation of side angle. Next inhale comes it back up. We'll bring the hands down, pivot the toes towards the back of the mat. Left foot meets the right. Downward facing dog. Moving towards pigeon pose. It's a hip opener. I'm going to let Jessica do the traditional pose with the right knee comes to the right wrist. Left leg stays straight behind you, and you'll be down like this. If you'd like another variation, that one just doesn't feel very well, there is a way that you can take gravity out of the question, because that's a lot of what is happening here, is gravity pulling down on the body. You can take the hands behind you with the right ankle crossed on the knee, and then that still allows the same outer hip stretch, but you have the control with how close you bring your left leg. So there are other options if anyone is looking for something that doesn't require gravity pushing down on your hips. I know that's not always the best for everybody. If you want an active pigeon, you can act as though you're going to draw your right knee back towards your left foot. Activate that right hip. You'll feel it fire up. If you'd rather sit in the stretch and just relax, that's fine too. Get what you need, leave what you don't. We'll be here for one more breath. Whenever you're ready, walking back, the hands back under the shoulders, lift the torso, tuck the back toes. Your right foot will meet the left in downward facing dog. If you want to lift that right leg and open the hip, maybe big circles with the leg. Do whatever feels good to work that right hip out. and we'll come to pigeon on the opposite side. There's no rush to get there. Left knee comes towards the left wrist. Right foot comes straight out of the right hip, pointing behind you. Sitting up tall, letting the hips settle, and then you can walk the hands forward or down onto the forearms. I'm going to take our other option with the left ankle on the knee, and I'm just going to walk my right foot in until I'm as uncomfortable as I want to be. Because we all know pigeon's not super comfortable, but it is in the places of discomfort that we tend to grow the most. That's something you can have on the mat and off. Don't forget to breathe. It got really quiet in here. One more breath. And then whenever you're ready, walking the hands back under the shoulders, lifting the heart. Tuck the back toes, left foot meets the right. Downward facing dog. We'll be here for 5 breaths. This is our last downward facing dog of the practice. Press into the hands. Spread the fingers wide. Link them from heart to hands, heart to hips, and then hips to heels. If you're done, we're going to come to our seat. So whenever you're ready, there's no rush for you to be there. Sitting with the feet out in front. For those of you headed that way. I didn't bring my blanket. I didn't bring my blankie. That's all right. Ooh, Jessica did. Yay for community, right? I like to sit up on a blanket whenever I'm going to do any kind of forward folding. Feels better on my hips to have them a little higher. Another way you can do this where you're at is you can roll up your mat and sit on that as just a little hip height. It allows me to walk my hips back so that I know that they're firmly in the sockets, and you can play with that. I'm going to give myself some little adjustments here. I'm going to grab my thigh and rotate it in. Allows more space in the hips. You might think that that helps you out some too. This really just helps with low back stuff. With the hips being further back, the thighs rotated, secures everything in the socket so that you can fold from the hips rather than the low back. So on your inhale, sit up tall, maybe reach the hands up, flex the feet, strong legs, and as you exhale, draw the belly towards the thighs, heart forward, hands wherever they'll reach. Maybe it's your shins, maybe it's your toes, it doesn't really matter. As long as you're hinging at the hips, feeling a nice hamstring stretch, relax the head and neck. On your inhale, halfway lift, draw the heart forward. As you exhale, see if you can draw the belly closer to the thighs, walking the hands a little further. Use the breath to work into your fold. We can do that one more time, halfway lift. Exhale, belly down, heart forward, head relaxed. And if you haven't found your edge yet, you think you've still got more folding in you, you can do the in-breath with the halfway lift as many times as you like. Just find your edge and back off a smidge. Find that place between effort and ease where you can turn inward. One more breath here in this fold. Next inhale slowly comes up. We're going to take the left leg over the right. You can stay here, or it might be possible for you to bring the right foot to the left hip. If you're here, you want to make sure both sit bones are on the mat. You're not sitting on this foot. So if you end up sitting on this foot, or if you're hiked up, maybe bring the leg back straight so that you're steady in your foundation. Plant the foot. We're going to hold on to the left leg with the right arm. Inhale, the left arm up, maybe look up again. We want to get really long like we did in that reverse warrior, and then bring the hand behind you for the twist. You can look over that back shoulder. You can look straight ahead or to the front of the room. What's most comfortable on your neck? As you exhale, slowly release. We're going to switch the cross of the feet. You can shake out the legs in between. And then uncross and recross so that we have the opposite leg on top. Our right leg, left leg can be straight or bent. We're going to hold on to the right leg with the left arm. Reach up, look up, get long on that right side, and bring the right fingertips behind you. Again, gaze where it's comfortable on your neck. And as you exhale, slowly release. Uncross the legs, shake them out, and then bring the soles of the feet together for Baddha Konasana, or cobbler's pose. We want to press the soles of the feet towards one another. You can hold on to the shins, or maybe you wrap around the feet. Inhale, lift the heart, and as you exhale, take a forward fold. If you're not into folding, you can just bring the hands behind you and just sit up tall. It's always an option as well. You can still activate the legs by pressing the feet towards one another and then actively trying to draw the knees down. Next inhale, slowly come up. Holding on to the thighs with the hands, you can help bring the legs together, and we'll come onto our backs. Draw the knees into the chest. You can do a little rock side to side, back and forth. Maybe circle the knees. Whatever feels good there. Another little hip stretch here. We'll bring the left foot to the mat, cross the right ankle over the left knee. This is going to feel like pigeon, but even less gravity on the body. From here, we're going to flex both feet and draw the left knee towards the left shoulder. Your hands, the right hand is going to interlace around the left thigh, so you're going to reach between the legs to the left thigh. And then you're going to take the left arm on the outside of the left leg, left thigh, to find the right fingers. You can also use a strap. You can grab the top of the shin if that's available for you, or you can straighten the left leg where that left foot comes towards the ceiling as the right knee is crossed. Another option is to hold the left knee as you push away with the right. Slowly bring the left foot to the mat. Option here is to leave the legs crossed just like they are, where the the right ankle is on the left knee, and we're going to take a twist where the right foot comes to the left side on the floor. Or you can cross the legs completely, take the knees to the left, or uncross the legs and just take a twist with the knees to the left stacked on top of each other. Find what option feels best for you for this twist. If your right foot is on the floor, think about pressing the right knee up towards the ceiling. Feel a stretch in the outer right hip, the IT band. We want to try to have that right shoulder blade on the floor, but if it doesn't, bring the right hand to the right hip so that the arm can stay relaxed. We don't want to build up tension in that shoulder with it floating. Slowly come back to center. Uncross the legs if they're still crossed. Plant the right foot. The left ankle will come on top of the right knee. Flex both feet as you draw the right knee towards the right shoulder. Same thing with this side on interlacing the hands around the thigh or reaching a strap around the thigh. Maybe you hold on to the top of the right shin. Right leg can be straight. Or what I like to do is hold on to my right knee as I push my left knee away. Just keeping the feet flexed protects the knee. Slowly bringing the right foot down to the mat. On an exhale, find the twist on the opposite side that feels good to you. So maybe you take the left foot to the floor with the left knee facing up. You might cross the legs all the way and take both feet to the right. Or maybe uncross the legs and just take a gentle twist to the right like we started with. If the left shoulder blade does not meet the floor, bring the left hand to the left hip. Let that left arm relax. On your inhale, coming back to center, uncross all the things. Draw the knees into the chest. Rock side to side, back and forth, circle the knees. We're going to set up for bridge pose, bringing the feet hip distance apart, setting the feet flat on the mat, just a little bit away from the bottom. Your arms can be flat beside you with the palms facing down, or you can bend the elbows with the palms facing each other like robot arms. From here, arch the low back and begin to walk the shoulders underneath so that you already start with your back bend sort of in place. On the inhale, hips lift towards the sky. Press down through the inner arches of the feet. Act as though you're going to squeeze a block between the thighs. And use the arm bones to press down into the floor to lift the heart. We want to press the back of the head into the mat to keep the chin lifted, and we want the chest lifting towards the chin, not the chin tucking towards the chest. This is a nice back bend in your upper back. The thoracic spine doesn't bend this way often. And whenever you're ready, slowly bring the hips down. Draw the knees in, rock it out. Decide what feels best for you here. We're going to take one more twisty in the hips. Separate the feet wide, the width of the mat. Leaving the right knee facing straight up on this first one, we're just going to drop the left knee towards the middle of the mat. So you've got the right knee stationary facing up, the left knee drops to the middle like a windshield wiper, but we're not wiping the right knee out. Switching sides, bring the left knee straight up, and as you exhale, take the right knee in. Inhale comes back to center. This time both knees will go to the right. Take a gaze to the left. Maybe stack the right ankle on top of the left knee for a little additional pull on that left side. Be gentle with yourself. Your arms can come out to the side. They can rest on the body if that's preferred. Bringing both feet back to the mat. Inhale the knees to center, and as you exhale, drop the knees to the opposite side. Maybe take the left knee on top of or left ankle on top of the right knee. You can gaze to the right, straight or center, to the left, however you want to gaze. Inhale, come back to center. Find a place to rest. We'll be setting up for Shavasana, your final resting pose. That can be taken on your back with the knees bent. It can be taken on your back with the legs straight. You can take it on your side or on your belly. We just want to find some place that you can fully release, absorb the practice, take in the here and now. Let the tongue fall away from the roof of the mouth. Let the shoulders sink into the mat. Let the belly and the breath go. Let your breath pattern return to normal. Feel the hips supported by the floor beneath you. If your mind wanders, return it to the breath. Letting the breath still guide you through this last bit of your practice. And our Shavasana was shorter than I like it to be, so whenever you're ready, begin to wiggle the fingers and toes. For those of you at home, if you'd like to stay in Shavasana longer, feel free. Maybe roll the wrists and ankles. Feel the breath reawaken the body, drawing the knees in, or not. Maybe you just take a big stretch overhead. Wherever you are will eventually make your way onto either side. Using the bicep as a pillow. Take a moment here to revisit your intention if you set one. Or if you went with the class intention of just following the breath, continue that through your week. Those moments where it gets to be too much, just remember to breathe. And whenever you're ready, press up to a comfortable seat. We'll find ourselves sitting up tall once more. Shoulders draw up and back, crown of the head reaches up. On your inhale, reach the hands up, let the palms touch, gathering the energy you created in this room tonight. And as you exhale, draw that energy to the heart so that you can carry it with you today. Thank you all so much for taking the time and practicing for yourself and for joining us for our in-person yoga. Yay! And we'll see you in coming weeks. Namaste.